Welcome to the Self-Care Show with Deidre Sanford. Although holistic and alternative healing methods are becoming more and more mainstream, what method is right for you? How do you find a practitioner once you've chosen to explore an alternative therapy? Each week, Deidre will explore a different modality with practitioners who will explain their modality and the benefits they and their clients have received through their sessions. She and her guests may also offer live readings during the show. Now, your host of the Self-Care Show, Deidre Sanford.
Hello, good morning. We're late for this very important date. I feel like the rabbit.
Better late than never.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're off to a roaring start for this new phase of the Self-Care Show after last week's hiatus. And boy, are we off to a rolling start. Guess what? It's Wednesday, June 28th. Welcome to the Self-Care Show. Good morning, Joe. Guess who's with me this morning? Todd Bates, our producer, our host extraordinaire, and the pilot of this plane.
Whee!
He's along for the ride today, guys. We had talked about Peter Benson. We've been hyping Peter Benson's second appearance on this show for over a week. And Peter's a ghost. So I hope everything is okay with Peter and his family. And Todd and I were chatting backstage, and all of a sudden we're like, dude, this conversation is just hilarious. We got to go live because we never know where Todd and I are going to navigate with our conversations. And we were talking astronomy. We were talking about these pendants, which is what we were supposed to do today with the maker of said pendants. So I apologize for our tardiness. We were just kind of hanging out, waiting to see if Peter was going to show and join us today. But unfortunately, he's just not able to be here.
Things come up.
Yep. Life goes on. So hopefully we'll be able to, hey, Robin, hopefully we'll be able to nab another date where Peter can come back and actually rejoin the show and give us some updates on what's going on with him, his world, his amazing pendants. Oh, boy. Hey, Todd.
Yes.
One of the things that we were talking about backstage before we came on, and I have absolutely zero knowledge in this, and that's maybe why the conversation got so funny. But we were talking about planets, what's retrograde, what's not retrograde. I think somebody recently said on some video that I saw that Pluto is retrograde, but I honestly don't know. But really, what differentiates a planet from a moon?
And that's deep. That's deep.
Well, it's far out anyway.
The big controversy is, do people think Pluto is a planet or do they think it's a moon? Because I was raised that Pluto is a planet. Planet number 9, I think. Weird.
And the other thing that came up astrologically speaking, and Todd, you were right. It's, what orbits around or revolves around the other. But if a moon is revolving around a planet, well, something else is revolving around that moon.
Yes.
So couldn't they potentially be interchangeable depending upon the perspective from which one is viewing the movements?
Yeah. I mean, it has an orbit. It attracts.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything out there is spinning and moving and going.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it.
But
is you don't know.
If it's spinning away from something, I mean, I guess now we're going clockwise, counterclockwise, right? But if it's spinning away from one thing, isn't it spinning towards something else, thereby changing the relationship to the things around it?
I would agree. I would assume so out there. Now, we haven't been very far. The telescopes and all the fun stuff can see these things, but man hasn't been very far out there. We've been to the moon. Some think we've been to the moon. Some think we never went.
Now, here's the thing. I have to say, we've been to the moon. One reason is oddly enough, as young and as tiny as I was at the time, I remember watching the moon landing.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta say, because I was exposed at such a young age, there's no doubt in my mind that we landed on the moon. The other reason is one of my BFFs in this world has a family member, hey Lori, who actually was part of all of that stuff at NASA. So otherwise, this guy's whole life is kind of like a lie, right? His career would be null and void if we didn't actually make that trek.
Yeah.
But then again, my mind is still open to new things.
But I think what's going to happen, this Elon Musk,
Yeah.
this guy is unstoppable when it comes to SpaceX and getting these people where they need to go. There are people that wanted to go into orbit. They went. Bezos, one of them, they went into orbit. I think if anyone can do it, he can. I think it's going to be a private venture instead of like NASA doing it, because NASA is going to take too long to get us, like, to say Mars.
Mm-hmm.
But Elon he's working on, he has all these capabilities to getting us there. He's just planning it out. And that's going to be something else to put a man on another planet.
Well, I think
Mars, they'd be able to discover the little robots can only do so much up there.
Right. I mean, but I'm like, are we supposed to really be going to these other planets and seeing what's going on? And
No,
I suppose yes.
I don't.
But also no. I mean, we wouldn't have the technology, right? But do we have it in the right timing by universal standards? Are we pushing it?
But man is making it. It's not provided for us. Like everything that we need to survive is provided for us on this planet. And I think we're supposed to stay here. I don't think, because it's like going into a huge building by yourself. There's so much of it.
Okay.
You can only do a little area.
Right.
And space is so huge and vast. I don't know. I mean,
it's almost like a larger version of a paranormal investigation, if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Macro, micro, right? When you would get this whole galaxy and you're saying going this place that's unexplored and we don't know what we expect to find. But don't we do that when we are the first team? I'm saying we, like I'm on this team. We are the first paranormal investigators to go someplace. Bad Moon Paranormal, Blood Moon Paranormal just did an investigation in Lamont, Illinois, and they're the first ones to investigate there.
Interesting.
So on a small scale, yes, Lori, I got that. And Joe, I see your point as well. But on a small scale, it's kind of a mini version of this huge universe astronomy investigation. Okay, that's weird. See, we knew this show was going to take some weird turns.
I don't think we're supposed to go out there and poke around.
Well, we're also kind of not supposed to go poke around in paranormal sites, right? Or
No.
are we?
But the free will is going to kick in, and we're going to do it anyway, right? That's how it's going to happen. The free will is going to kick in. Man is going to say, okay, we want bigger, better, faster.
Yeah.
So we want to go to Mars, then we're going to go to Jupiter, then we're going to go further out.
Right. But, the old saying, curiosity killed the cat.
Bingo. That's my concern.
Right.
Is these people going out there, what if space is different near those areas? What if...
Well, we already know that it is.
You can only measure so much with the equipment we have here, I think.
Yeah.
But you put a man up. What are they going to do? Send a monkey again?
Because that's, Well, I mean, I understand that, because apparently genetically they're the closest thing we have to humans. So if we send a monkey up and God forbid something horrifying happens to the physical form of that monkey, then we can safely assume that the same thing would happen to a human being, right? I mean, isn't that, it's like sending the old parakeet down in the mine.
Yes. The old parakeet trick.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, no decisions about this, right? I mean, we're just having a chat. What happens if?
And I'm curious as to what they think. Now, I was raised that Pluto was a planet. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Pluto is a planet, or do you think it's some kind of Planet X kind of thing where it's there yet not there?
Planet X.
Planet X.
Great. Now I'm like WWF.
That's Wednesday.
My misspent youth. Lori came up with a good point. She's like, it's not about technology. It's about the intention behind it.
Ooh, strong point.
But that it is, and it applies in so many different ways. We talk about the hydrogen bomb. We talk about all kinds of other things that have been brought for public consumption or public knowledge and then been essentially bastardized and used for purposes other than which they were intended. And now we're talking about AI.
Artificial intelligence is going to take over. I'm afraid to say that. Me personally, I feel that we have become a very lazy society.
In many ways.
In many ways.
I myself have become very lazy in many ways.
Artificial intelligence, it's
Hey, Lee.
Hi, Lee. They can do they can write books now, AI.
Yeah.
They can do imaging, really wicked and deep imaging with this artificial intelligence. And Skynet, Terminator. Yeah, Skynet. You ever watch the Terminator movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Years ago, not the, yeah.
But, and that's where the robots come, AI comes and attacks, basically turns on their creators. So I don't know. I've seen some films out there. One of them in particular is called Surrogates.
Okay.
And it's got Bruce Willis in it. And it's artificial intelligence. What it is they have like robots. Well, the person stays at home, completely at home, doesn't go anywhere. They lay in this bed, put on these glasses, and they steer themselves, which is a lookalike robot that looks just like them. And they go to work for them. They go to the store for them, everything for them, while they stay inside underneath this bed.
Wasn't that kind of born for us out of the lockdown?
Yeah.
I mean, that's when we started getting our food delivery service. Places were able to deliver alcoholic beverages.
Watch that movie and you're going to see
Ew.
some pretty amazing coincidences in that movie with what's going on now.
But is it a coincidence? And this is a conversation. I don't know if you and I have had this conversation in the past. And Joe, I haven't missed your point all the way around. I did see your comment, and I do want to bring that up. Way back in the day, when I was in high school, we had a movie called E.T. We've also had Battlestar Galactica, the original series. I don't watch the newer series, so I don't know.
Close Encounters.
Star Trek. So where does this information come from for these people to write these scripts or screenplays? Is it a download? And if it's a download, then are we not introducing ideas? Think about how many have come to fruition, right? Let's go back to George Orwell, 1984. So Big Brother is watching. Well, hello, Big Brother's
been watching for a while now.
So are these things that we're creating out of the conscious collective mind, right? Because we see these movies, we attach to it, we project it, we think about it. Are we manifesting this stuff? Or are we foretelling some of these things?
I think a lot of it we are manifesting. a lot of those films, those early films, especially some of these recent ones. I was just talking with somebody about this the other day, how they're test films to see how I feel they're test films to see how society reacts to, say, an alien encounter
Right.
or anything for that matter. They're just test
Oh,
films. Some are, made to make money, of course, but
right.
something like, I don't know if you've
Yeah,
seen The Fourth Kind. If something like that comes out, that's shocking. That's
there's
not that's not something you just kind of watch and ignore. That's pretty
right.
shocking stuff.
Well, see, and that's what I like is movies that don't necessarily tell me how it ends.
Hmm.
I think that's one of the reasons I've always been so attached to or interested in the movie Signs.
Signs is a great
'Cause,
movie.
hey, we brought aliens down to Earth, and I I'm not sure where I stand on that. And then, like, there's the movie The Lake House, which is totally not the same, but it is the same. It introduces this theory of our parallel universes, and someone, I think they actually met in life or brushed shoulders in life, and then they're sending letters to each other back and forth through this mailbox at a specific house, but kind of in real time.
Right.
Right. So super, super intriguing is introducing these ideas. Is it downloaded information? Is it stuff for us to explore? Are we creating it? And I hear what you said. You think to a point we're manifesting it. Um, we talked about The Fourth Kind before. Maybe we should, like watch the movie and have a group movie review day.
It's pretty intense. It's pretty intense.
Yeah,
You've got that one. I'm not saying that Uncle Sam is in the movie business. It's not about that. I think it's, hey, let's see how society reacts to this in a major
test it.
box office.
Well, it didn't. The test did not go well with War of the Worlds. I mean, let's be honest.
No.
And on the other hand, when we look at ET, like all these people wanted to do is come sit on our planet for a minute and pick up their lost little one, right? ET phone home.
That's
Like,
it.
that's all they wanted to do is come get their family.
Yeah.
And we greet them ready to go to war.
Hmm. Immediately defend ourselves.
So are we being taught, groomed to look at this day and immediately be prepared for big trouble?
Hmm.
Big Trouble in Little China?
Another great movie.
Right? So I don't know. And why do nobody wants to be decimated. I get it. But why do we have to be so buried in, so attached to a fear response?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, be
That's a good question.
prepared on one hand, but the minute you show up, guns ablazing and pointing guns in people's faces, you're bound to get an adverse reaction. Hmm,
Yeah. Every action
interesting.
has an opposite reaction. So
Right.
that's the ticket with it
Lee
is,
hasn't seen ET.
oh, Lee. Oh, you got to try it.
Gotta try it and then come back and tell us what you think. Where
It's
was
better
I?
when you watch it when you're little, but I've watched it as an adult, it's still pretty good. A
Totally different.
little cheesy.
It is, but it's a movie. It's an 80s movie. I mean, Drew Barrymore is like a 7 or 8 or
Yeah,
9-year-old
she's like
little
7
girl.
years old in that thing.
Yeah. Joe had said a few minutes ago, way back, actually 12 minutes ago, she said, I think they just found 2 new moons around Saturn. And so I did a little quick dig. And this doesn't speak to the 2 that she's referring to. However, I did find an article that said on May 22nd of 2023, they released that scientists had discovered 63 new moons orbiting Saturn.
Holy cow, that's a lot of moons. Well, Saturn's a huge planet.
Well, okay, but why does it get so many moons?
That's what's strange.
And are those
Does it get so many because it's so big and sucks them in to its
that's
orbit?
possible.
Because it's massive and it's got the huge, the rings with the asteroids and so forth in there, almost protecting the planet to where you can't get to it. I mean, what's really underneath there?
And were we not talking about going to Saturn, or am I just imagining that?
We were just talking about it.
So we talk about it.
What's underneath all the muck, all the poisonous gas and everything they say is on there? Okay, what's
say
under it?
they say is on there, but we don't know. We've just been told. And it could be true. It might not be true. But if we think it has poisonous gas, we're not going to go there. So I'm not a conspiracy fan per se, but I love talking about these things.
Yeah.
That make
things
you go,
that make you go,
Good morning, Jamie.
Morning, Jamie Lynn.
Holy cow. And then, so Lee brought up Soylent Green.
Oh.
And I have to admit, even though Charlton Heston's niece lived 2 blocks away from me and we essentially grew up together, I've never seen Soylent Green.
Whoa. That movie's freaky.
Yeah. Maybe that's why.
It's an apocalyptic movie.
Well,
it's Soylent Green. Well, that's what they eat.
Yeah.
That's
and
what
somebody
they
else
eat.
said we're getting closer and closer to that.
Mm-hmm.
Lee.
And Snowpiercer is another one.
Ooh, Snowpiercer.
That's apocalyptic.
Yeah.
And they all have to eat this black goo. That's all that's left on the planet is this black goo stuff, which turns out in that movie to be insects. That's the only thing that survived the nuclear war. To where Soylent Green, well, I can't tell you what it was because I'll give away the whole movie. Yeah, it's people.
I mean, I know that part.
Okay.
So you won't spoil that.
Stranger Things.
See, I got all sucked into Stranger Things too. Hey, Leah's saying that she would host a show called Sci-Fi Paranormal Movie Review and Discussion.
Let's talk.
There you go, Lee. Great idea.
Let's talk, Lee. That is a great idea because there's so many of them out there that need dissected, really broken down, and just reviewed. You know, what is it?
Or discussed.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great idea.
Yep. Stranger Things. You finally got a niche. Yeah, that's awesome, Lee. And don't you love it when it happens organically? You just kind of fall into it. Hey, I could do that.
Everything
that's the best kind of stuff. Jamie Lynn is saying her husband is sitting here saying pitch black.
Pitch black. Was that a movie, Jamie Lynn? Because I haven't seen it. And if it was pitch black on Snowpiercer, yes, it was pitch black. This stuff that they had to eat, it was disgusting.
Oh, okay, the food.
Yeah, it was.
Aren't they all like in the Arctic and wearing white suits on white snow? Is that show or is that something else? Movie?
Oh no, she's saying Pitch Black was a movie with Vin Diesel.
Yeah, okay. They all shot each other in the end, and I don't remember what that was. If anybody else chime in, I don't know. There were like in the South Pole or the North Pole, the South Pole, in the North Pole, and all the snow, and it's freezing cold, and they're wearing white parkas and white snow pants on this white. The Mist could be no argument. Or is it a new one? White snow, white clothing, carrying black guns, and when you get shot, there's nothing but a red splotch in all of this sea of white, which I'm sure was significant of something, but this was a long time ago. Don't know what that was. Anybody else? So The Mist must be another movie Jessica Lynn is bringing to our attention.
The Mist.
The Mist. Tell us about The Mist.
The Mist. I don't know. I haven't seen The Mist.
A freak storm.
Stephen King movie?
2007 is what I'm seeing on IMDb, and it unleashes a species of bloodthirsty creatures on a small town where a small band of citizens hold up in a supermarket and fight for their lives.
Fight for their lives from a grocery store.
Hey, they're hoarding the food. Everybody's mad at them. I don't know. Huh.
The Mist.
Well, apparently I've watched it. Don't recall.
Oh, I'm going to check it out, though.
Yeah.
I can't forget the name, The Mist.
Yeah, well, it's a Stephen King, so.
I've seen The Fog. It was horrible. That was awful. That never should have been. That never should have been aired.
Giant insects. Robin Cribbs is popping in saying, yes, giant cribs. And yes, it is a Stephen King movie. I have been a long time Stephen King fan.
There's a lot of apocalyptic movies out there.
Yeah.
The Day After is another great one.
Mm-hmm.
John Robards, I think his name was, in there. Another great one that would it's just, to me, I think something like that could be classified as a test film.
Sure.
You know, you got a guy driving down a highway, a nuclear bomb hits to his left. You know,
I
that's
think about that. Sometimes
shocking.
when I drive up north past through Rockford, I think I always forget that we have a nuclear power plant up in Rockford.
Oh,
And we used to have one in Zion, or some people
whoa.
say Zion. I keep forgetting that there are two, or is it Byron? Byron, Rockford, I think they're right near each other. And every time I go up there, I'm like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot that I live this close to a nuclear power plant.
Chernobyl
Why
had
do
one of
you
those
think?
once.
I'm going to pose this question and then we can pop out for our station break. I'm hoping to see lots of responses when we
Why
come
do you
back
think
from the
that?
station break. But Vesica Lynn is asking, why do you think terrestrials don't make themselves more known?
Great question.
I love
Phenomenal
that
question.
question.
I
Yeah,
think they're afraid
I
of
love
what we
that
will do.
question. Well, and as well, they should be probably. And that's one of the things that I would love to spend more time talking about, maybe on another day. We're going to do this. We're going to run out to a station break and we will be right back. Hang tight.
Download the new station calendar and never miss another show. To get it is simple and free. Just visit WLTK-DB.com to download or tap the subscribe button on our mobile app. Once the file is in your downloads folder, just double-click it, authorize it to your calendar, and boom, you have every show listed. Not only does it list the shows, but also the links to watch them live. We would like to thank Danny Loosemore for developing this for us and hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Get yours now at WLTK-DB.com or just click subscribe on our mobile app. See you at the shows.
Oops, my fault. I hit the wrong button.
You're doing great.
Oh, yeah, I did so well. I hit the wrong button. That's
No.
awesome. All right. We've got new comments to dive into. Thank you guys for sticking around right here with us on the Self Care Show with WLTK-DB. My guest today is not Peter Benson, but none other than our beloved station owner, producer, gentleman extraordinaire, Mr. Todd Bates. Yay! And the crowd goes wild. Ah!
Crowd goes wild. The crowd leaves.
No, the crowd does not leave. Well, good morning, Diet. She came to join us this morning.
Yeah.
Jamie Lynn thinks that they feel more superior and don't want us stealing their intellect.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I like that. And that makes sense because I feel they are.
Apparently Jamie Lynn calls you Superman. You just don't know it yet. Hey, Christina, right on time. I love this. Lee says she thinks extraterrestrials don't show themselves or make themselves more known because humanity as a whole is not yet ready for them. I can get behind that.
It's almost as if we are a new and training planet.
Yeah.
Look at the spiritual side of it. Look at the universal side of it. Telepathy, telekinesis, all these different things that are out there.
Right.
I think the alien races are capable of doing such things.
Yeah.
As telepathy, reading minds, all kinds of stuff. And our brains, I don't think, can hold that or haven't been activated to hold that. Because we only use like 10% of them, of our brain. So 90% of that just kind of sits there and is an unknown origin.
No arguments. See? I love this. All right. So what else have we got? Vanessa Lynn came back and well, that was her question to begin with. And I'm so happy that she posed that question. Jessica Lynn from the Ancient Healing Show right here on WLTK-DB we were talking about the nuclear power plants. Apparently there's one up by La Crosse and she thinks I can't smell it when I drive through, but she said you can smell the gas coming into town. Well, that makes me want to not live in that area.
Nope.
But then again, you know what? If you can smell it in the immediate area, it's still blowing every place else anyway. Her thoughts on why do we think extraterrestrials don't make themselves more known? It says they're building more knowledge on us.
Love it. Profiling.
Profiling, okay. But that leads me down the path of for good, so they can help us, uplift us, mentor us, feed us information that we need to continue to survive. I've heard the idea that they're aware of our mistakes and they can't really point them out to us. They can't interfere, but they can provide support.
Right. Here's what's strange.
It's kind of like our spirit guides, right?
What's strange is how they, where was I going with that? I just lost my thought. How they can take, how was I going to put that into words? I had it right at the tip of my tongue and it's so early, but I think they feel that we are a threat to them at the moment, or maybe we are a young planet, like I said, that they are supervising. I'm not saying they created us or anything like that, but that they are supervising because we can't handle, I mean, as a species, look at us. I mean, for example, look at UFO disclosure. Right. It's everywhere. They're disclosing it, but no one cares.
Because they spent 50 years or more burying it and keeping it all away from us. So now that it's out, we're fearful.
We're fearful.
DF's got a good point. Who says they haven't shown themselves yet? And we're too egotistical to see them.
Bingo.
Right?
It could be something as simple as ego.
I love that. And I think I've recently said, okay, but isn't it awfully arrogant of us to think that we are the only beings in the galaxy?
Yeah, very
seriously.
conceited.
Just because we have the things that we have on our planet that nurture and feed us.
I mean,
who's to say?
I came into this skeptical as could be, and I still believed in life on other planets. I mean, if you sit back and think about it, like we said, it's so huge. Why wouldn't there be? How can we be the only ones in such a huge space? Right. And I think that they are among us. And like Diet said, our egos block some kind of vision, like that movie someone brought up earlier, Them or They Live, one of the two, that had that you had to put on the special glasses to see them. Had Roddy Piper in it.
Oh my! Speaking of, there we go. That's why I was doing this, right? We're bringing WWF right into the alien conversation today. Wow! And now we've come full circle. I'm scared.
They Live.
Well, and Christina agrees with what Diet said. I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm not familiar with the movie you're talking about, but just why the frustration? Why the mystery? Do we need to fear aliens? Can we not see them because, I don't know, our third eyes aren't open enough to see them because we're not all vibrating at the same rate?
That's what I think.
I mean, I kind of agree with what Diet said. Who says they haven't shown themselves already? I
think they're here and hanging out in certain areas.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think it's nefarious.
I don't think Elvis is an alien or anything like that. I'm not going to get crazy.
No, but Elvis has been sighted on other planets.
And at Burger King.
There you go. See, most important of all.
Want some cheese on that?
He was at Fuddruckers. He was at Fuddruckers because he wanted his peanut butter hamburger.
Peanut butter in the hamburger.
Oh gosh. But we'll see you on Saturday, Jamie Lynn. Thank you for coming by this morning.
Oh, I hope you guys have a fun time Saturday.
Lee was saying you were trying to reference a movie. She was that back to They Live.
They Live.
They Live
Okay, it
movie.
is They Live. I can remember if it was them or They Live, but
No.
it's cheesy. Don't get me wrong. Now it's a cheesy movie, but it's one that makes you think if they had to put something on, they had to put these special glasses on to see the aliens. And the signs, because they had different signs with subliminal messages like obey, do your laundry, whatever the sign said, the people would do subconsciously. So it could work that way.
Well, and now you've said subliminal, and I'm thinking about subliminal advertising.
Oh, yeah.
The days when, and yellow journalism, the days when if you stop action and went frame by frame, you could see the messages built in.
Especially in theaters.
There. Right. That's exactly what I'm thinking of as popcorn. But it's all just so very interesting. I mean, we went from books and movies that introduce us to these concepts of alien life, alien ships, Soylent Green. But now we're seeing some of those things come to fruition in our lifetime.
Yeah, and now with today's modern movies, we're actually interacting with them. Look at the Avatar movies. We're interacting with the aliens in these movies.
Right.
We're not going against them. We're trying to interact with them, and it's just, to me, it seems kind of wild how they put these out, and then down the road they may see, there may be another sighting, like Russia, for example. Other countries, their government is all behind alien research, trying to find them. We're the only ones that aren't.
I think we might be.
I think we're holding some captive.
I've heard that. Maybe we're just being slowly groomed to being more receptive, because almost everything that's been spoon-fed to us through the media in one way, shape, or form. Yes, Christina, I believe they were.
Yeah, because they had to get in those little beds they laid in there, and then they got in the Avatar.
Everything else that we've been spoon-fed put us in a position of fear of the unknown. And yes, some of that is natural. Some of it is a fight or flight natural instinct. But we've been presented with those things strictly forcing us or funneling us toward the fear response. Now we have, as you brought up, other movies that are showing us interacting in fruitful, positive ways for the most part. Yeah, there's the normal turmoil of any relationship, and that doesn't have to be romantic, partner, business, friendship, community. You're testing the waters a little bit. You got a little mistrust. Perhaps there is some deceit, or maybe you're imagining there's deceit, but maybe you get the opportunity to address it and come to an understanding, and find some semblance of harmony.
Yeah. That's the big picture. Harmony, peace.
What are we driving with this dichotomy? Are they trying to bring us out of the fear response?
I would hope.
Put us in a more open place?
I would hope.
I would hope so too.
I would hope they would try to make the transition as easy as possible for us. It's one of those things. Are we ready for it though, Deidre? That's the thing.
I think that's part of it. Is it possible that the movie makers, the people who put things out, the people who stamp the approval, we know we have censors who's banning the books, but is it possible that they're starting to shift us in the position of, I don't know, hesitant acceptance versus meeting the mothership with guns ablazing or guns at the ready, like we did in ET, and then we found out, well, there really wasn't a reason for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I don't think there's any threat. I don't feel any threat. I think that some are already here. I think that we have other species here from the 50s that haven't been released or sent home yet, so to speak. And maybe You
Maybe that's
know,
why they're pissed at us, because we've got
yeah,
the people and we won't let them go.
I'd be a little cranky too. You know, it's one of those things where, hey, we came down to visit, to check you guys out. Hey, we crashed, you know, and
Our
but they,
technology failed.
yeah, our technology failed. So
Yeah.
they covered everything up. And, you know, why cover it up? The
I
human
know.
mind is a
If we
very
cover it
powerful
up,
thing to have.
say that again for me, please.
The human mind is a very powerful thing to have.
But
And
what are we using it for? If we're using it to drive fear and separation and division and derision,
we're using it for the wrong things, the wrong reasons. And I feel that's why we're not able to use all of it, is because we're so new. We're babies. We're babies
but
and we're developing. Our brain is developing. I think, you know, because what animates you anyway? You know, you have a brain, you've got a soul. What animates you? What drives you? And it has to be something otherworldly. It really does. Behind it, a universe, a source, something, God, what have you. But having civilizations, different civilizations here, I think we do. And one film that stands out, and it's another kind of cheesy one, The Fifth Element.
oh, I was thinking about that and I couldn't think of the name of it. Yeah.
And you know, that one's one of my favorites. Of course, they put some Hollywood in there and everything, but the concept behind it is true. It's real. It's obtainable. It really is. If we just let it be. But
Yeah.
I don't think we're letting it be. I think we're resisting. So they're resisting. And are kind of going with society as a whole and what it does. You know, are they? I mean, I'll sit here and tell you, if we're sitting here doing a show right now, and some alien craft hovers above, and I look outside and see it, odds are I'm going to crap down my leg. I'm not going to go out there. Hey, everybody!
I don't know that I'd go out waving, but I'd certainly be peeking through the blinds out of
Yes.
curiosity.
Yep. And I think that's why, because we're so new, we're such babies. That's why we would have to peek in the blinds.
Yeah.
Instead of just going out
Well,
there and facing
but
what
doesn't
it is.
that go back to the original question of why don't they show themselves more?
Mhm.
Because we're babies, because we're not sure how we're going to respond. We've been conditioned in some aspects to be fearful. If it's hidden from you, then it also becomes kind of something you want that much more.
True.
And so while that potentially drove fear, didn't it also maybe drive the curiosity? Point to ponder.
It is. And that, you know, curiosity kicks in free will.
There you go. See?
And there we are as humans screwing things up again.
Here we go around in circles.
Yeah.
I am going to grab a super quick station break. We're going to run away just for a minute and we're going to come back and have to wrap up the show. But oh my gosh, so much fun having to chat with my lovely guest, Todd Bates.
Woohoo, had a blast.
Yay! Stick around, guys. We're going to be right back.
Have fun for a great cause. July 1st, 2023, the Broadhead Manor fundraiser helps save the roof and restore this iconic building to its natural state. Make a donation to receive some amazing gifts like psychic readings, books by authors Chad Lewis, Todd Bates, and Christina Bloom, attire from Expedition Entity and We Are Paranormal, and much, much more. Join the fun July 1st at Broadhead Manor from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Bring the whole family. There will be face painting and games for the kids. Vendors, psychics, food, and music and karaoke by Boogie Nights for the adults. Broadhead Manor, where numerous spirits call home, located in Broadhead, Wisconsin. For more information, find them on Facebook.
right. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me and Todd Bates this morning. Had to get the information in one more time because we're getting so close to this event at Broadhead Manor on the 1st of July. And what an amazing group of people. What an amazing fundraising event to come together for. It's near and dear to the hearts of so many people. But more specifically, near and dear to the hearts of some of the people on this station. I know Diet Renee is going to be there. Christina Bloom, I'm going to be up there. Nick Sarlo is going to be there from Shadowhunters, Paranormal Investigations and Events. There's just so much happening. Our own Jamie Lynn, who jumps into our shows and is such a known and loved person within this family at WLTK, is heavily involved in this event. She's going to be there as well. Lee is going to be here. Super excited. I can't wait to actually see you face to face, Lee. This is going to be so exciting. And that's part of what this is all about, you guys. So much about the community that we have the ability to develop, the community that we're growing, the community I got an opportunity to step into. And I'm so, so grateful for the opportunity. I finally met Christina Bloom up at Broadhead. So it has a little special place for me as well. Come out, see us. This building is amazing. There are opportunities for tours and investigations. It needs a new roof, guys. This whole thing is being run and set up with the idea of raising the funds to bring this building back to a better, more elevated sense of functionality. And it really, truly is a community center in so many ways.
There's a GoFundMe for it too.
There is. Diet set up a new FundMe, a GoFundMe for that. Perhaps I can pop the link into the comments later. Diet, you look like you're hanging out. You want to pop that link in the chat if that's possible for you? I know you put it up on your show on Monday. We need to hog tie you, Todd, and bring you up to this event.
I'll get up there. I'm getting there.
A hell of a special guest appearance, Todd Bates.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Lee, I agree.
I get out of my own house these days.
Well, we'll just have to come down and kidnap you. There it is. Thank you, Diet, for posting that. Excuse me, posting the link to the fundraiser or the GoFundMe for Broadhead Manor. If you're not able to come up and have fun with us, join the raffle. I'm giving away a root cause therapy session.
Nice.
Todd's they're raffling off one of Todd's books. So many things happening. Yes, Christina, I can't wait to see you up there as well. It's going to be a great event, guys. You got to come up and join us. Pop over to the GoFundMe. Help get the roof fixed on this building because it's such a great place.
Yeah.
Todd, aliens, what do you think? Should we spend some more time talking about aliens, you guys?
I think.
Oh, Lee's got 3 baskets donated. That's awesome. Thanks, Lee.
It's amazing. Geez, the camaraderie, the community coming together. That's what I like to see. That's what it used to be. The community coming together when a building was in need of repair. Everybody came together and helped.
I'm not sure. Diet says Christina, excuse me, she and Christina will have donations about the adventures of the foot for a small fee. I'm going to have to find out just how small that fee is. I'm a little curious now. Oh, man. All right, you guys. Should we have more conversations on aliens, alien abduction? What's going on with that?
I think it's a nice mix in there.
Bloody Mary, goddess of wine at a spa day. Oh, my heavens. Sounds fabulous. You guys,
Virgin Bloody Mary for me, but that sounds amazing.
Fine. That's fine. Me too, because I'm reading at this event. But, it all sounds amazingly. Thank you for your donation. Christina's laughing about the whole foot comment. Yes, we should. We should have more conversations about aliens on this show. All right. I'm going to work to make that happen. I want to know more. I'm not saying... Well, I guess I did say today, I believe they're here. And I think we should be a little bit more welcoming and a little bit more tolerant to things that we just don't understand.
Speaking of here, Deidre.
My soapbox. Yes, sir.
I want to say something real quick on how proud I am of you.
Oh, dear. Thank you.
For what you're doing, the way you're helping out. with the station. You are grasping this like no other. You're going to
Oh,
be
thank you.
unstoppable. You're doing great. I just
Thank
want
you for the opportunity. I am ever so grateful to have that choice.
Well, thank you for the help. Oh my God.
Aw.
So needed.
Well, I'm happy to be able to be of service. Energies of Service was not with us today, but I'm happy to be of service to you and to the station and to the station family. And yes, Todd is amazing. Todd is responsible for making sure all this stuff goes off with as few hitches as humanly possible every day. Every day. I think
It's fun.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Christina. And thank you, Todd, once again. And thank you for the opportunity. Guys, we're going to have to bug out. I'm going to work on getting some more alien stuff organized for us. I'm going to see if we can get Peter Benson rescheduled for another day. He lost today because Todd and I were both all set to talk about these loose, juicy little gems that we had the opportunity to live with for the last couple of months. Thanks. Yeah, you put us together. You're just a natural at that. I have yet to thank for so many things, and all of you to thank for being here today to support us through this last hour and through all of the shows that we have here on WLTK-DB. So in the meantime, guys, have a fantastic, safe rest of the day. Keep those minds open. Things that we're taught to fear are not necessarily things we have to fear, right? Just maybe use a little caution. Looking forward to seeing so many of you on Saturday at Broadhead Manor. I will catch up with all of the rest of y'all next Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. right here on WLTK-DB and the Self-Care Show. Thanks again, everyone.